Hi, Harrington High School. My name is Tory Berndt. I am presenting to you today about social media, do's and don'ts, and some tips that will help you get the most out of your social media, but also be smart about what you're posting. A little bit about me. Like you, as a student of Harrington High Schools, I had many of the same classes you guys have, walked through the same hallways. You may know my dad, Mr. Berndt. He is the athletic director. You might have had him in track practice. I graduated Harrington High School in 2009 and went straight to Kansas State University. Graduated from K-State in 2013 with my Bachelor's of Science in Hospitality Management and minors in Business and Leadership Studies. After K-State, I went to my first full-time job as the executive director of the Abilene Area Chamber of Commerce. I worked with businesses to promote their businesses within Abilene, and I currently serve as the promotions director for Alpha Media Topeka. 94.5 Country Legends 106.9 and 580 WIBW. What I do as promotions director is promote community events. I promote station events. I coordinate the giveaways. So if we're giving away tickets, I coordinate all of that for the station. I edit and post on multiple social media accounts. I have access to over 10 social media accounts. This includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and more. So I know a little bit about what I'm talking to you about today, but this presentation does not reflect my company's views. You're all familiar with social media, but just a refresher, social media are websites and applications that enable users to create and share content or participate in social networking. Any website that you post a comment on, if you're reading an article, that counts as social networking and social media. Any account that you can create your own content, so you can create a status or you can create a tweet or you can post a picture or do a snap, any of that is also considered social media. The most common social media platforms for teens are Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Google+, Kik, Pinterest, Vine, and Tumblr. The tips and tricks I give you today and my insights into social media will only be based on 4 of those: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. These are not only the most common, but the ones that can get you into the most trouble, the most commonly used by employers, the most commonly used by businesses. These are the main ones we're going to focus on. First, I want to talk about general topics that you need to avoid. First up is any topic that is viewed as controversial that you know will get a widespread response or lots of activity. So it might be fun to post it because you're going to get a lot of comments or you're going to get a lot of likes. This is still something that should primarily be avoided. Main ones: politics. If you're 18 and you're about to vote in your first election, which I hope everyone who's 18 is registered to vote, but if you're 18 and you're about to vote in your first election, you may have opinions on who you're voting for. And it's great to share those, but just be careful. I would avoid it. Don't post anything about politics. I stay away from posting about politics in general. If I do post anything, it's just to encourage people to vote. But politics is a really, really relevant topic right now that is getting people in trouble on social media, including the politicians. Race is another topic. This is one that has been prevalent in the last few months with different shootings and different things with law enforcement coming up within the racial discussion. And another one you just need to avoid. The last one is just religion. There's so many different religious views, so many different ways people can get involved in their religion. Certainly practice your religion, but just be careful about all of these that you post. In general, I would just avoid controversial subjects. Another thing you want to avoid posting about are activities that are illegal for you or anyone else in the post or picture. If you have friends that have gone off to college, or if you have siblings that are in college and they invite you up to a college event or a siblings weekend, and you're in a situation where a college kid is drinking because they're of legal age, that's great. But don't post a picture with that. Don't post a picture of you holding a cup, because it's not about if there's water in it, but it's the perception of what's in that. It may look like you're participating in underage drinking. It also may look like the older person is contributing to that. There's a lot of negativity that can be involved with that. And so just don't post pictures of it. Don't post statuses about it. Don't post hashtags with that. Another one is smoking, but basically any activity that is illegal for you or anyone in the post or in the picture. Law enforcement can and will use social media if it becomes an issue for the courts or if it becomes an issue for law enforcement. You don't want to give them any more ammunition than they need. And the last thing I want to discourage you from posting are derogatory terms and curse words. There's lots of words in the English language that can be used in lieu of a cuss word. You don't have to use a cuss word to get your point across. And it's not a smart idea to use a cuss word, especially when you're looking at everyone that would see that. So if you're friends on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat and you're sending it out to your family members or older adults, they don't appreciate that, or just anyone who might be offended by those things, all of those things can be classified as triggers, and you don't want to trigger anyone unnecessarily and then have it result negatively back on you. I want to give you a few real life examples, situations where people posted on social media that it affected them negatively. When you hear of examples that result in negative backlash from social media, you may think, oh, those are celebrities. That'll never happen to me. Or, oh, those are in California. But these two examples, one is my own and then another is somebody I knew. So these are real life examples that happen near you within an hour of where you live right now. They can and certainly will happen. And I just want to share those. The first one, this is a Facebook status. This was posted by a coworker of mine. We worked at a movie theater while I attended K-State. The status was posted, and it was an anti-military status. It reads, "Everyone is constantly glorifying the military, calling them heroes, etc. War is not heroic. Saying no to violence and solving problems peacefully is heroic. So no, I will not thank those who choose on their own free will to go kill themselves in battle. Get a life and a real job. Oh, and stop demanding a military discount everywhere you go. You're no better nor no more mature or deserving than a civilian." This was a post that was on her personal Facebook page, not affiliated with the movie theater and not affiliated with a company. The result of this post led to the company receiving claims of being anti-military, threats toward other employees, and they saw much backlash from one employee's opinion. I can speak from personal experience. I took phone calls that had the threats. I was threatened as an employee just by a coworker's opinion that was shared on her personal Facebook page. Ultimately, the end result was this employee was fired. Yes, it was her own Facebook. It was her own personal opinion. She didn't state in the status where she worked or anything like that. No one would have known by reading the status that she was from Manhattan, Kansas. Just because it's your own personal opinion and just because it's on your personal Facebook does not mean your employer is not within their rights to terminate your employment. Second example is my own personal example. As you can see, this was posted in June of 2013. I had just attended Country Stampede and I liked something Miranda Lambert said. She said, "Whoever's beach ball that is, if you want it to live, keep it away from me. I will kill it and I will stab it with a knife. I don't like those. We didn't come here to play with our balls. We came here to play some country music." I clearly state who said it. As a result, I had a sit-down meeting one-on-one with my president of my board of directors, which is basically my boss's boss. This was only 1 month into my employment as a full-time career person. So I wasn't in school anymore, but I'd only been out of school for a month. And within 1 month, I was having a meeting with my boss about something I had done incorrectly. So it was a big wake-up call as to what can happen. Many people found the comment inappropriate. I represented the community. I represented multiple businesses in the Abilene community. And because of what I said on my personal Facebook page, I ended up having a warning and was told to be careful on my Facebook page from there on out. So luckily, I did not get terminated because of it. And I continued in that position for almost 2 years. However, it was very relevant and it was a big wake-up call that I needed to be more careful of what I was posting on social media. Now to talk about why does this matter. First, if you ever want a job anywhere, it matters. If you want a job at the local grocery store or the local pizza place, or if you go to college and you want a job at the movie theater like I did. If you are not choosing to go to college and you're going straight into the workforce, then it certainly matters. So any job you ever want anywhere, it's going to matter what you post on social media and what you have posted and what you will post. Everything can always be recovered from the internet. So even if you delete a post or you delete a picture or you delete a tweet or a Snapchat or the Snapchats, since there's a time limit on them, you think they just go away. They don't. I know 3 people off the top of my head that can find anything they want to from your social media past and your social media history, and it's completely legal. It is on the internet forever, and regardless of what you do to it, it will always be there. Because of that, your employees will troll you. If you ever apply for a job and they're considering you, they'll Google you and they'll look you up on Facebook and they'll look you up on Twitter and they'll look your Instagrams and see what you've been posting and see pictures that you've been posting. And it will happen, and it does happen every single day. And if they see something that they may not believe is right for their company, they won't hire you. It's perfectly legal, so just be careful about what you post because they will be looking. It does not matter if you have a business page that's separate from your personal page. If you choose to go into independent business and you make a business page and that's separate from your personal page, that doesn't matter. You will always be affiliated with your business. Like those two examples I gave you, neither posted on a business page, but were both affiliated with said businesses, and it had an effect on their business relationship with people. And with that, does your job involve managing social media pages? For example, I have responsibility to over 10 social media accounts. With some coworkers of mine, we all have responsibility to post. And one day I was watching a football game and I posted on Twitter, "Oh my gosh, I love football so much." And I went to the Twitter feed to see what was going on Twitter, and I saw all these country music pages posting. And I said, I didn't know I followed this many country music artist. And then I thought, oh no. I went back to the Twitter profile page and realized that I had just tweeted from the 94 Country Twitter account. Luckily, it was a post about football that I could easily say that 94 Country does love football. If your job involves managing social media pages, this could come into play. It's super important that you pay attention to these things because you never know when you'll accidentally post from a business account. I want to share a few tips on making the most out of your social media and then just protecting yourself on social media. It's about safety as much as smartness and common sense posting. The first thing is privacy settings. Make sure you are up to date on who can see your posts. On all of your accounts, make sure that you have your privacy settings as private or as not private as you want them. Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, you can make those private accounts and you have to approve your followers and approve your friends. You can also control which friends see which content, so make sure that you're up to date, especially with the apps that change their privacy settings fairly often, like Facebook. Facebook also has a timeline review option that you can approve posts made to your timeline before they show up. After my example in my life that I shared earlier with you, I enacted the timeline review functions. Now, when my friends post to my timeline on Facebook, I have to say yes or no that can show up on my timeline. That has helped with content that goes onto my timeline. Second tip is make sure you know what your friends are posting. If you're tagged in something inappropriate, or you find out that you were tagged in something, or you were in a post or a picture or a tweet or an Insta, if you're tagged in something or someone posts something of you and you don't appreciate it, ask them to take it down, ask them to remove it completely because they didn't have your consent, or untag yourselves. Another tip is to not post something just to get a response. I know that it's very tempting to post a funny picture or a funny tweet, but don't do it, because ultimately after they like yours and you get the hullabaloo and you get the excitement out of the way and you have your 100 likes, there's going to be another picture, another post, another tweet that someone will become more interested in than they were in yours. Your glory and your fame will be short-lived. It would be awful for you to live that fame and then have to live the backlash of it as well. Don't post something just to get a response. The last tip is, if you're not sure, just don't do it. If you think it might be misconstrued, if you think it might be inappropriate, just don't do it. Would I be okay if my grandma read this, or if my grandpa read this? Would I be okay if they looked at this picture and they saw me in it? And if the answer is yes, I post it. And if the answer is no, they probably wouldn't like it, then I stay away from it. If you think it's even slightly inappropriate or slightly controversial, just don't do it. That's all I have for you today. I hope you've learned something. Avoid those controversial subjects and just make sure you are paying attention. If you have any questions, let the teachers know, and I will answer any questions you have. If you want to shoot me an email, Mrs. Coover has my email address, and she also has a copy of the PowerPoint. If you want to keep this, just let her know and she'll get that to you. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.